Today we're going to be playing some more Black Ops 2 Plutonium. Today my goal is pretty simple. I would like to complete gold camo on my PDW. We got a match here with one player on America's TDM Best Maps number 2. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but the ping seems decent, and it's the only one in this upper echelon that has players besides this one called Maniaco's Bot, which I'm assuming that that's just filled with bots. So I'll see if there's actually real people in here. Oh, this actually seems to be real players across the board. Okay, we got Jelly Upset, Clean Demon, Close to Sienna, Kraken Dot, and then the whole other team as real people. Okay, let's do this. Before we get into this, I hope you guys are ready for a whole lot of Nuketown, because that's literally all I have planned to play on today. I don't care about shrieks. I don't care about getting a bunch of kills. I am just going strictly for headshots. That being said, I hope you're all doing well. I am really looking forward to Black Ops 6, man. At this point, we're only like 5 days out from it. I literally wish I could just lay in bed and sleep for the next 5 days. You guys don't understand how excited I am for Black Ops 6. Not only to just straight up play it, but also to go for Master Prestige, go for all the Mastery camos, play the new Zombies maps, the multiplayer maps. Then November 1st, we're going to be getting Nuketown in the game. I've also decided that how I'm probably going to go about it is I'm going to spend the first like 2 or 3 days of the game being out just grinding the multiplayer, grinding the zombies, like for that entire first weekend. And then by the time Monday rolls around, I'm going to take an entire day to grind through the campaign. You know, I know it's going to make me fall behind on the grinds when it comes to the Mastery camos and the Prestiges and all that, but I don't care. I love the Call of Duty campaigns, and I really want to experience Black Ops 6's story. So again, I'm going to spend Friday and that weekend grinding out the levels, and then come Monday, I'm just going to spend that whole day, maybe 2 days if the campaign ends up being a bit longer, but typically I can end up beating a COD campaign in a sitting. It just depends on how long the campaign really is. One thing I absolutely love about Modern Warfare 3 that I really hope Black Ops 6 brings back is the in-game trackers for like camo challenges, weekly challenges, and all that, because right now I'm just sort of playing a guessing game of like, alright, do I have enough headshots for my PDW or not? I know I needed like 70 something, I think, so it is going to take a while, but we've gotten a good like 6 or 7 so far. Again, I don't even care about leveling up or getting any sort of specific kills or anything like that. I'm literally just going for headshots. That is all that I care about. I'm glad we were actually able to find some real people, though. I was worried because I got on, it was like, alright, man, it's saying there's only like one person in here, but no, surprisingly, we were able to find a full lobby. Man, a part of me kind of wants to try to get the Tag 45 gold. This has always been my favorite handgun in Black Ops 2. I'm not sure why. There's something about the damage it does, the way that it feels, the way that it sounds. I just love this handgun so much. I forget what the gold requirements are for this thing. I'm pretty sure the handguns also require you to get hand shots. Did I really just say hand shots, dude? Instead, look, the sun hasn't even come up yet. I'm recording this early as always. I'm sorry. English speak can I just unlocked the grip for the PDW, so I might back out here in a minute just so I can throw that on there, because grips are honestly like a lifesaver for getting headshots in Black Ops 2, because even though most of the weapons in this game really don't have that much recoil, when you're trying to aim for such a small target as the head, having a reflex plus a grip makes a huge difference. At the time of me recording this, it's Sunday. I know it's typically a bad idea to say what day or date it is in a video, because then it kind of like dates it heavily, but I don't care. But with that, it means that it's football Sunday or whatever, and everybody's gonna be watching football tonight. You know, I've never really understood football. I've been on this earth for over 2 decades now, and I still don't understand even the basic fundamentals of football. I know there's like 2 teams. One team needs to get the ball to the enemy's side, basically, to like get a touchdown or whatever, and then they score some points, but that's all I know. I know there's also some times where they're allowed to kick the ball into the giant yellow, whatever you want to call it, not a hoop, that's basketball, but you know what I mean, like that giant yellow thing, and that can also get them points. I always lied and said, yeah, my favorite team is the Ravens, but that's just because I used to live up north, and like the closest football team to me would have been the Ravens. My family has always also been huge Ravens fans, like my mom and my grandparents and stuff like that. So, I mean, again, it's just one of those things where I went along with it. Like, yeah, sure, the Ravens is my favorite football team. It's just easier to say that my favorite team is the Ravens rather than be like, oh, I don't watch football, and then have that same reaction that every American gives of like, what? You don't watch football? You know nothing about football? We got it. No, it's easier just to be like, I watch the Ravens, and the conversation can end and I can go back to playing my video games. And it's hilarious because I love playing sports video games. I love playing Madden, I love playing NBA. In fact, when it comes to like real life, basketball is actually the one sport where it's like, you know, I'll never play sports. I'm not a sports guy, but basketball is the one where I can actually play it recreationally for fun, or I'll actually enjoy watching it just because I have a better idea of what's going on. I still don't know all the ins and outs of it, but I genuinely love playing games like NBA, and then obviously, you know, like NBA Jam back in the day on the SNES. And again, I enjoy playing the Madden video games. I never understand what's going on. I don't know what I'm doing. I just know that I'm playing as the one team, and if I'm on defense, I'm trying to make sure the ball doesn't get to the touchdown thingy, and then if I'm on offense, then I'm just running for my life and hoping I make it before somebody jumps on top of me. I don't know if boxing and like, not exactly martial arts, but whatever you call UFC, I don't think that's called boxing necessarily, but whatever you want to call that, I enjoyed those sports as well, if those counts as sports. You know, back in the day, I know wrestling is technically a sport, but I also know that WWE isn't technically real, but you know, as a kid, I used to love watching WWE, and then as I've gotten older, I enjoy watching UFC from time to time. I don't watch it that often though, it's just one of those things where if I see some rad clips on YouTube, you know, I'll watch those, or like my stepdad's really into it, so if I see it on the TV, then I'll like pop in for a minute and just see who's winning, what's going on, who's bloodied up, who isn't. That's another situation where I love playing the WWE games, and I love playing the UFC games, but still, I mean, you know, in those instances, I have a better idea what's going on. It's like, oh yeah, whoever doesn't get their ass beat wins, which for me, that's a much simpler concept than trying to understand Madden, where they're like first down, second down, touchdown, kick it into the yellow hoop. Like, I don't understand what's going on. I just see dudes jumping on top of each other trying to protect the ball. I'm not dissing the sport by any means. I have nothing against football. It's just my own ignorance. Like, I just simply don't know what's going on. I mean, I have much respect to the football guys. I mean, those guys are jacked. They clearly care about what they do. The sport, I mean, it's a cool sport. As I said, I enjoy playing the video game version of it. I just don't get what's going on. The closest I ever got to playing sports would have been back in, oh gosh, what grade was that? Sixth or seventh grade? It wasn't even a sport necessarily. Like, you know, it wasn't one of those things where like, oh, you have this whole school team and then you go out on these different, what do they call them? Tournaments or whatever, where you go out and like match up against different schools, and sometimes you have like multiple schools in one day you'll fight or whatever. Like, no, it was nothing like that. It was literally just like this after school club or whatever, but it was actually pretty rad. It was definitely sixth grade now that I'm thinking about it. Sixth grade, man, that was like a whole decade ago already. How has it been that long? Anyway, basically how it was set up, and it was kind of funny because one of my math teachers from sixth grade was running it. Well, he was never specifically my teacher. He was just one of the math teachers at my school, but it was him and some other guy. I forget who he was, but there was also like another teacher involved, and basically they just ran this after school street hockey club where, again, it wasn't like, you know, ice hockey or any other sort of hockey. No, it was street hockey, aka we'd go outside to, obviously it was middle school, so it wasn't necessarily a recess area, but it was like the basketball court outside. You had like the 2 basketball nets. There was also like some hopscotch looking shapes in the middle there, and then if you basically how the recess worked in my middle school was you were either playing basketball, doing the cool little hopscotch or hopscotch or what, hopscotch, right? That's what it's called, hopscotch. Or there was also like other mini games they had set up outside where you could like bounce a ball between your friends or this, that, or the other, or you were just like walking around the outside circle of all that, which that's typically what I would do. I would just walk around the outside circle. But anyway, that's where the street hockey would take place, just right out there on the pavement. And man, let me tell you, kids were getting banged up out there, dude. Because here's the thing, there was no chicks out there. It was all just a bunch of like 12 to 14-year-old dudes just whacking each other with sticks. Get your mind out of the gutter. You are disgusting. Instead of playing with a normal puck, you know, as you would in normal hockey, we were playing with like it wasn't exactly a tennis ball. It was sort of like no, it wasn't even a baseball either. I don't know. It was a small ball though. And then we had like, you know, normal hockey sticks. And it was absolutely brutal because nobody was wearing any protective gear. The only person that had protective gear would have been the person defending the net. So, like, they had some knee pads, and they also had, like, those baseball mitts on just in case the ball would fly up. And I think they also had, like, some sort of face... Actually, no, I don't think they had face gear at all. Yeah, that's right. Nobody had face gear because anytime anybody got hit in the mouth, they'd have to go sit on the bench. So, yeah, the only thing that we had protecting us was, first off, you had to be defending the net. And even if you were, it was only, like, something for your knees, your elbows, and then you also had, like, the baseball mitt. And that was the only protection. So basically it was this game of, okay, you either get out of the way and let me get this ball into the net, or I'm going to use your face to bounce the ball off into the net. So either way, like, the other team was going to win. And I can't tell you how many times people would literally smack the ball so hard that it would fly up off the ground, smack somebody in the face, bounce off their nose, and go into the net. And there, might have been a little blood on the pavement and the ball afterwards. But I mean, hey, a score is a score. It was one of those things where, like, I was never really one for after school clubs or, doing all sorts of, like, sports or recreational activities in my school. But that was one where, like, one of my buddies was doing it, so I was like, all right, you know what, that'll give us some time to just kind of hang out after school. And the teacher that was running it was, like, really cool. He was one of those teachers where he was, like, best friends with all the students, right? Like, he was really cool. So I was like, all right, I'll do that. Then at the end of the year, we had, like, this really dope pizza party where they got pizza from, oh, wow, look at that, 65 to 21, I'll take it. Where they got pizza from one of the most delicious local joints. It was one of those pizza places that had those really thick, like, New York style slices. Like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's funny, my offense game wasn't necessarily the best. I don't know, when it comes to sports, I've just never been the best at offense. Like, anytime I had to play, like, basketball for gym class or, like, the hockey thing I've been talking about, like, you know, my offense game was alright, but when it comes to defense, man, I can defend like there's no tomorrow. Like, anytime we were playing a match, people wanted me on defense. It's just one of those things where when I'm on offense, you know, yeah, sure, I'm quick and I'm Asian and all that, but, you know, with me being Asian, my field of vision is a bit worse, so my eyes, it's hard to track where everything's going when I'm on offense, but when I'm on defense, that's where the Asian swiftness comes into play. The other team, yeah, sure, you know, their offense, the kids on that team, nobody there was like, you know, straight up ripped or anything like that, right? Like, it wasn't like, you know, like the football athletes out there. It was just, you know, your run-of-the-mill dudes out there. Some of the kids in there were a little overweight. Some were potentially a little underweight. Nobody was like, I don't know, super buff by any means. But still, I wasn't scared of anybody coming my way. If you came my way, I was defending that night like my life depended on it. Just imagine a 12-year-old little grotesque out there spinning around, doing all sorts of 360s, defending the ball, you know, clacking sticks, hitting people's shins. Most kids played it pretty straight, but some did play it a little dirty. Some would start whacking the shins to get the ball out of the way, and then they just play it off like it was an accident. You know, I never did it intentionally, but I will say I did hit a few people's shins, and I did feel really bad after, because I'm sorry, but hitting somebody in the shin is almost as bad as hitting them in the groin. Like, that is just a low blow cheap shot. In fact, most of the time when I get hit in the shin, it hurts worse than when I get hit in the groin, because sure, getting hit in the groin, it hurts in a way that I literally can't explain, but it's also like, usually when you get hit in the groin, the pain is so extreme that your brain tunes it out just to keep you from going into shock because it hurts that bad. I mean, that is until your brain forces you to feel it, then yeah, it hurts really bad, but still, getting hit in the shin, it's different. But yeah, that was one of the most dude clubs if I've ever seen a dude club, you know what I mean? Like, everybody there was dudes, everybody was there just to beat the crap out of each other, play some quote-unquote sports again. It was just sort of like a street hockey thing, right, again, and nothing too serious. Like, we still kept scoring, we're like, alright, here's the match we're gonna do, you know, see who wins in the end, and that was really just that. We hang out for like an hour or so. There was like a few other clubs I did throughout the years. I remember in 6th grade as well, my school also had like a Minecraft club that they did, which is another thing that I decided to join for a little bit. I wasn't in there for too long, just a couple of weeks, but that was another situation where one of my buddies was in there. We never really got to hang out outside of school just for one reason or another, so I was like, alright, you know what, I'll go for a few weeks just so we can hang out and chill outside of class, because we only had like 1 or 2 classes together, but, you know, me and him really liked hanging out and being able to talk, because obviously we had each other on Xbox, so like we could talk that way, but we didn't get to really like hang out outside of school, so we did that for a bit. You know, they had like computers set up at the school where they genuinely had Minecraft, and you know, we made like our own servers or whatever, so me and my buddy could just play on it. We messed around with like creative and survival and stuff like that, so that was fun. I did that for like, I want to say maybe like a month, 2 months tops. The only other times I did any sort of like sports though would have been in gym class, and let me just say, I was that one kid that everybody was always laughing at, just because, I mean, you know, I've never... For a while, when I was younger, I wasn't exactly in the best shape, and even to this day, I mean, I'm in pretty good shape, right? Like, in terms of muscle, yeah, I'm not in good shape in that regard, but, you know, in terms of everything else, like stomach and size and BMI, I'm just pretty average. I'm like right on that line of being just weighing enough without being underweight, but if I would drop any more weight, I'd probably be underweight. Like, that's where I'm at. I'm just at like a decent spot. I'm in decent shape. I run 5 miles every day. I used to run 6 miles every day, but then I started just, you know, having some pains in my joints. You know, I'm starting to get a bit older. You know, I know I'm not like a super old man by any means, but, you know, my body is also really fragile. I've been through a lot over the years. Not gonna go into all that now, but all I'm gonna say is that just stay sober, take care of yourself, don't be a stupid teenager like I was. But before all the terrible nonsense I did to myself, you know, as a kid, I wasn't exactly in the best shape. I was a little chunky. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I had a little bit of man boobage going on. I mean, I wasn't fat by any means, but I was definitely still a bit heavier set. And again, not even technically obese, just a little above average in some regards. So anytime I was in gym class, you know, when I was trying to run, I also had, you know, I had asthma at the time as well. So being a little bit heavier, having asthma, kids would always be laughing at me, being like, oh, what, you out of breath, fatty? Or, you know, making fun of the way that I would run because I'd run a little funny. Or anytime we play kickball, people would make fun of the way that I kicked the ball just because I didn't really know how to do it properly. And anytime that I did, the ball never went anywhere. Like other kids, you know, they'd kick it and they'd be like a home run with that thing. They'd send it outside of the park. The teacher would have to run like half a mile to go get it. Me, I'd kick it and it would be just enough to hopefully knock it out. And even then, usually it would either go out of bounds or it would just be like a foul, but like in the wrong way. Like it wasn't going, oh man, it's so far that it's like out of bounds. Man, I kicked it so far. No, it was nothing like that. It was literally like I kick it, but it would go backwards. So therefore it was like a foul or out of bounds. So some of that might have something to do with the, you know, with why I just never ended up doing any sports or anything like that. But also another part of it is just I've never really been a sports guy, right? Like, I've always just been the kid where it's like, I'd go to school, I'd go home, I'd play video games, I'd sleep, I'd repeat, you know what I mean? That's always been the one constant in my life. As I've said many times before, the first vivid memory from my life is playing Donkey Kong Country on the SNES when I was 3 years old, and throughout my life, video games have always been there for me. It doesn't matter what's going on, whether I'm in a good mood, bad mood, sad mood, angry mood, happy mood, doesn't matter. Video games have always been there for me, no matter what, and they always will be, and that's just what I love. Above anything else in this world, video games are like at the core of me and my identity and what I love and what I do. Like, no matter what comes along, no matter what happens, video games are always like my grounding factor, my definitive factor, the thing that will ground me and keep me happy and just offer and promise some sort of stability in the midst of all the chaos. And you know, that's all I could ever ask for. I love video games. Anyways, with all that being said, I've been grinding headshots on both my TAC 45 and my PDW for a little while now, so let me go ahead and drop this last lightning strike. Not too worried about the Dragonfire, but let's see. Oh, there we go. Five headshot medals on the TAC 45. Woo, but let's see how well I did on the PDW today. All right, so we got it all the way up to a level 10. Not bad. I'm going to go ahead and slap a reflex and a grip on it. That'll probably just be my best bet. Unfortunately, we don't have primary gunfighter yet. That's not till level 22, so I still got to level up 2 more times. Well, we got up to level 20, though. Decent. And as far as the headshots go, we got, I'm literally only 5 headshots away from being done with that. Nice. And then after that, obviously, you know, even once we complete that, we'll have to go through to the Bloodthirsties, get all the revenge medals, double kills, stuff like that. So we'll do that next time. But yeah, we're pretty close to gold. I'm very happy with the progress we made today. That means I got like 69 headshots. Nice. Yeah, because we were at 26 last time. I literally got 69 headshots. I didn't even try that. But anyway, as always, massive shout out to all the Patrons and channel members. Thank you to all of you in the low baller tier, and an even bigger shout out to the big baller tier, Mil asking, and Big Daddy Manny, and the biggest shout out to all the G tier run events and the Cheese Girl. Thank you guys so much. You guys are literal legends. I love you. Have an amazing day, stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.